Hi, I'm Alonzo. I'm going to show you how I made a half-barrel all-grain brew tower. Unfortunately, I didn't have a YouTube channel when I began this process, so the first video will be going over what I did using pictures. The remaining videos will show the build and process. Part 2 of this series will be a test brew using the system as it is now. Part 3 will show improving the tower based on problems found during the test brew. Part 4 will show automating the burners using a temperature controller. If you want to see how the improvements come along, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to easily brew all grain beer, it helps to have a good gravity or pump fed brew setup. I'm going to go over how I built mine. I started with 5 10-foot lengths of mild steel tube in 3 sizes. 1 10-inch banjo burner with a high pressure regulator, 1 Blickman Hellfire burner with top shelf tower mounts. I will provide links to the burners in the description. I got the steel from a local supplier. I will also provide a cut sheet in the description. There are basically 3 parts to this tower. The tower itself with the legs, the top shelf / burner, and the middle shelf. I started by cutting 3 3-foot legs out of the 11 gauge tubing. I then cut the 1/4 inch length into 1 3-foot leg and 1 7-foot tower post. I began welding the 1/4 inch thick tubing to the legs as an upright. I want to warn you in case you try this, it is very important that you get good penetration in your welds. This tower will be holding up hundreds of pounds of hot water and wort. If a weld were to fail and this tower falls over, it could cause a lot of damage. If you are unsure how to weld this up, you could cut everything out and bring it to a local welding shop and have them finish it up for you. I made 2 of the flat ends of the legs face the same direction so I can add casters to these sides later and easily move it by leaning it over. I then cut out pieces to build the middle shelf. It is a simple square with straight support piece in the middle. I next made the top shelf / burner bracket. I will mount a 10-inch banjo burner in the middle of this shelf so it is a simple square with 4 diagonal pieces to support the hot liquor tank and allow the burner to be mounted. I added a small piece of steel to each corner to strengthen the entire shelf. This shelf is indicated by the red arrow. Next, I mounted the top and middle shelves by welding them to the tower upright. I added a support between the outer edge of the middle shelf and the tower at a 45-degree angle to add extra support. The middle shelf will support the mash tun, which will be very heavy when full of grain and wort. This completes the initial phase of fabrication. I then mounted a 10-inch banjo burner to the diagonal pieces of steel using metal plumber's tape and self-tapping screws made for steel. I also mounted the Hellfire burner by clamping it in place and then marking the mounting holes. I then removed it and drilled out the holes. I then mounted the burner with bolts using these mounting holes. This burner will be for the boil kettle. Here's a picture from my first test brew. You can see the hot liquor tank on the top shelf, the mash tun on the middle shelf, and the boil kettle on the bottom shelf. You can also see my plate chiller set up with the thruometer near the bottom. I will put links to the brewing tuns and kettle I'm using for all grain brewing in the description. Next, we will do a few test brews to make sure no changes need to be made. If you like this video, please push the thumbs up button. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see how this project turns out, don't forget to subscribe.